AZ Build 3433 here once again. A couple of weeks ago I did a video telling you that I was purchasing a MSR Pocket Rocket knockoff from China. I had seen a video on YouTube of somebody who had done a like a review on this knockoff, and what I'll do, actually he did a pretty nice review on it, and I'll put his channel name in the description here. It's actually Syntax77, and so anyway, I got it the other day, and this is what it came in. Let me do this because I don't think he measured exactly what size this the case was. It's a rectangular case as opposed to, I believe, the MSR Pocket Rocket comes in like a triangular case. The case itself is just a little over 2 inches in width and a little over 3 inches on the length, and the thickness is just about 1 3/4 inches. So it's a fairly small. Now again, this is supposed to weigh 3.9 ounces with the case. So I believe that's what it is. I don't have any way of actually weighing that, but if you look at Syntax 77, he weighs it on there. He weighs both the just the burners or the stove, and then he weighs also the case itself. So I think in total it only weighed 3.9 or 4 ounces total. So here it is. This is what it looks like when it comes to me, and it has, actually you can fold up the flow control little knob here, and then you have the legs. There's 4 legs, and all we do is very similar to some other stoves, as opposed to the Pocket Rocket just opens up the 3 legs. This one here, you have to kind of rotate it around and lock them in place. Yeah, let's see, this one gets right close to the ignition, and you have to really kind of push it into place pretty good. And the legs actually has this secondary leg that you have to flip over for larger pots. It's pretty nice. You know, I don't know, that looks pretty good to me. Anyway, I've tried this out once already. I tried it the other day when I first got it to see how well it ran, and it did really good. I mean, it's very similar to most any other stove that you would get of this nature, the propane or, you know, these type of stoves. So what I'm going to do is attach it to a cylinder. You know, squatty little cylinders. We'll put that on like that and take a look at it. It's nice and tight. Usually just want to hand tighten these, but there is a seal on the bottom of this, and make sure our legs are all in the right spot. Now it does have the piezo starter on here, which the I don't believe the MSR Pocket Rocket has that. At least the videos I saw this morning on it when I looked at it didn't have this piezo starter on it, and actually this works very nice. I've got to say that the only thing when I tried this out the other day, the only thing I didn't particularly like, I really kind of like the 3-legged ones better. If you've looked at Smoke Eater 908's, you know, alcohol new design he has on there, it's a 3-legged one, a tripod one. I kind of like that a little bit better. Whenever you have 4 legs, you're always going to have one leg that maybe is just slightly out, and I believe one of these legs is just slightly out. Now I have my kettle here, and I'm going to do a burn test here pretty quickly to see how it sits on here. And the one thing I've never liked about these, it sets pretty good. You know, it sets pretty good. You push it down a little bit, and it sets pretty good. The only thing I've never ever liked about these type of stoves, and I don't think I have the pot really in the lens yet. Let me push this back a little bit, and so you can see that. The one thing I really don't like, that's a little bit better. The only they sit so high. I just don't like it. Even though I do have, I have it up in my camping gear and everything else. I have the extended legs for the actual cylinder itself. I've just never liked this height here, and it's something I've always been a little bit critical of. And I was always wondering if somebody would make some kind of lightweight donut that would go over here that you can maybe put some kind of containment system for your pots or something like that. And I've never seen anybody do that yet. And these have to sit pretty, you know, on level ground here for these pots to sit on here pretty decently. So, you know, I've had these for a long time. Not this one here, of course, but I have a Coleman that I use for these smaller cylinders, and I've always had that kind of reluctance, you know, to put them on anything but really steady, good surfaces like this or some other benches that you might have when you're camping. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera back, and I have water already. I have 2 cups of water in here, and it's at 65 degrees right now. It's only about 52 degrees out here in the garage right now. I'm going to pull the camera back a little bit, and I'll be back in a second, and then we'll do a little bit of burn test on this. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back. I've got this set up right now with my Heineken pot on here with 2 cups of water. I'm not going to use this for the boil test, but I just wanted to show you how, you know, a Heineken pot would sit on here. Now it's pretty stable, but usually when these things start to boil, they have this tendency to want to jiggle like that. So you kind of have to watch it, and you know, again, the stability and the height factor here comes into play for me. So anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to run this probably, I've got my tea kettle here with 2 cups of water at about 65 degrees. I'm going to get this thing started up, and I'm not going to run this full blast. We're just going to run it about half you know, speed, you might say, and see where it goes from there, because we know these are going to run much harder than an alcohol stove would anyhow. So we'll take a look and see what it looks like when it's running. Let's see, can you see that pretty good? I hope so. But you can see, I've got a torch. I've got this thing torched out right now. That's full blast, and I've got a 1.5 foot flame coming out of there. So I'm gonna crank it down to about here, and yeah, about there. That's pretty good. I'm gonna crank it right about there and say that's good, and put my kettle on, and start my timer. And we'll see where we are in about 2 to 3 minutes or so. So anyway, what I'd like to do here, I've got a second one here. Maybe I should give you just a little bit more detail on this. When it's locked up like this, you can see here, the legs are all the way over to one side, and actually the handle for the flow control here actually locks up inside. And when you're putting it away, you're taking it out, you just have to, you know, pull that out, the adjustment for the flow. And again, there's a little tab right here on the first one. You just give that a pull, and it just takes it all the way around. And of course, then you would, on the over by the piezo here, you have to kind of just lock it in place by the piezo, and then the legs, the secondary legs, you can open up for your pot. I've tried this closed up for the Heineken, and it's not very stable for just a Heineken on this if you have it like this. So anyway, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's so far I kind of like this. I mean, again, I think if you looked at my last video when I did the last one, these are $8.42 on Amazon, free shipping, which is very, very nice. Again, I ordered 2 of them because I thought they were a fairly good bargain. They get 4.5 stars from the people who are using them. There's 238 reviews on there and 4.5 stars, so there must be something to these as far as the value that you get for $8.42 each and free shipping. So I think that's, you know, says something about these. Even the last comment, I got a comment from one of my viewers on the last video I did, and said he had one for quite a long time and used it extensively when he was, you know, doing his either backpacking or camping. And she just goes back into the case nicely. Now the Syntax 77, he said he wasn't going to use the case, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want to use the case, and because that's going to keep this thing clean. You're not going to have any trouble with dirt or anything that you're out on the trail or camping or anything else getting inside the case. If you keep it inside the case, it doesn't add anything, even if you're a backpacker, that I don't see that adds anything dramatic to the weight factor here. So let's take a look and see where we're at with our water here. Yeah, we're already starting to get some bubbling on the bottom. looks good. And we're at the 3-minute mark, exactly. Now again, I've got this thing turned down. I'm not cranking it. If I wanted to crank it, I'm sure we could probably get... I'm not even in the center very good, are I? Here's, just move it over to the center here better. That was a little bit stupid. Okay, now we're centered. I think we're centered up pretty good now. No, still not. There we go. That's a little better. Nothing like not knowing what the hell you're doing. Whoa. Okay. Like I said, if I crank this thing up, I'm sure we would get a boil much faster than I'm probably going to get for this demonstration. But I just want to demonstrate so you can see what the, what the stove looks like, and also that it really has a torch effect, you might say, that you have on the MSR Pocket Rocket. So I think this is a pretty good value. I think you can't go wrong. I mean, I guess over time, you could tell if you look at some of the reviews that are on the Amazon, we're starting to get steam coming out of it already, that you'll probably find, which I did when I looked at all the reviews on there, people were very, complimentary towards this stove, even having had it in the field for, here we are, we're already in the rolling boil. I probably missed the rolling boil start already. We're at the, clean my glasses off here. We're at the 4 minutes and 38 seconds. So that's pretty good. We're not even running full steam here, and it's not steam. It's, let's turn it off. Whoops, turn the wrong way. There we go. Turn it off, and that looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty excited about this one here for the price. I think it's a pretty good value. So. Anyway, take a look at it it's on Amazon. Look at Syntax. It's SINTAX 77. He does also a review on this, maybe better than mine here. So I think if you take a look at that, you might find some value in this and put it in your collection. I'm certainly going to keep it in mind. The second one here I'm going to give to my future son-in-law when we go camping and backpacking. And so anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.